Hi, welcome to Two Italian Women
And the stories we tell
with Erica Martin.
and Diane Bobolino.
Thanks for having us back. This is such an exciting time of year.
It is.
It is Halloween and it is the beginning of fall, and the leaves are changing colors, and energetically, everything is just changing.
It's spooky and scary.
It is spooky and scary, and like ghosts and goblins and
I
little
wanted
kids.
to say goblins. Goblins.
And little kids running around like little skeleton outfits and superheroes and all of that.
And pumpkins out.
I do love a pumpkin.
I know. Orange.
A gourd.
And candy corn.
Oh, I love candy corn.
I know, I do too.
It's so bad. I remember when I was little, I'd like cut them like their little teeth.
You did.
Hanging out. Oh my gosh, who doesn't love Halloween?
I like black, the little black, jelly beans, licorice.
I'm not a fan of those.
I want some right now.
I'll get you some for Halloween. I'll put it in your little gift basket.
Yummy.
But when I think about Halloween, I think about the energy and the fun, and it's certainly a child's holiday. It's about carrying a little pumpkin around and getting as much candy as you could get. Sometimes a nightmarish time for parents, especially kids with ADHD and a host of other things, like to hop them up with sugar and then have them running around, especially at school. I think even some schools now have stopped that, sadly, the Halloween celebration, because it's too stimulating for a lot of kids, whatever. But, when you think of this time seasonally, and you're probably more the expert on the fall season, how things begin.
Slow down.
Yeah.
And you could, like, our bodies slow down energetically, and it's a time to just slumber in and kind of not really fall forward, fall back.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, energetically, let's enjoy it.
Yeah, because the summer energy is all like up,
yes.
and being out and being active and being in the sun and doing all these active things. And the fall is kind of that transition point into winter. And we do need to begin to kind of slow down a little bit. It's a slower energy. It's that fuzzy sweater or that comfortable blanket. It's the hot cup of tea, maybe, or whatever.
The fire on.
Oh, and an apple cider. I don't know. There's just so many smells and sensations at this time of year that just gets
pumpkin pie.
Who doesn't love a pumpkin pie? I love a pumpkin. Well, I mean, I'm a pie girl.
Are you?
Oh, I don't like cake. I'll eat cake. I mean, I love desserts. I'm Italian, but pie is.
I love pumpkin pie.
That's one of my favorites, with the homemade whipped cream on top.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Oh, so I just love this time of year. But what makes me kind of laugh is that as people who really live in the spirit world, as you and I do, the representation that Halloween brings as being like, this is what it's like to interact with the spirit world, is really kind of disturbing to me. Like, it has like a darker energy.
Yes, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
The spirit world to me is white light, gold light, shimmering,
beautiful,
glittery,
warm energy, right? That just kind of makes you feel at home. And yet when I think of Halloween and the origins of it, which we're not going to get all into today, if you want more information, maybe we'll do an extended on the history of Halloween and its origination. But it's really kind of carries with it a very dark energy, and it's off-putting to me. It really is. It's like very off-putting to me. And so I think when most people think about engaging with spirit, when they think about connecting, from that 3D to the 5D, between the movies, the stories, the Halloween-y kind of things, it's all about like haunted. We're going to a haunted house, right? Or there's just that negative, that negative vibe. And so the spirit world is really the place where so many of us live and frequently visit. And it is just like the most beautiful space. It's like being at home. And so although I enjoy the fun parts of dressing up, I love being able to be somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Do you love dressing up?
I like it.
I'm not a holiday girl.
You're not?
I'm not a holiday girl. Christmas is like too stressful. New Year's, I think, is like overrated. Valentine's Day, I think, is like kind of overrated. Thanksgiving's all about the food for me, and like the thankfulness. It's
Yes,
like it's like a
Thanksgiving.
that holiday I love.
Yeah,
That
I like
holiday
that.
is like
And the pie.
a special. Yes,
The pie's good.
and the pie. And Halloween is that fun holiday of dressing up and getting to be like whoever you want to be, and like I just love that kind of fun, playful
Fun.
playful energy. But
Especially when my kids were young, it was so fun.
oh god, yeah.
And the parade at the school.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember my mom. I have photographic evidence of this because my mom is going to say that this isn't true. But when I was in elementary school, probably second grade, and you know my mom, so you're going to appreciate this story. My mom is like crazy artistic. Like she does things offbeat, and like she likes to make people laugh and all of that. When all the other girls were going to school, they were just as princesses and ballerinas.
Oh, what were you? Ballerina?
No, Diane.
A witch?
No, Diane.
The devil.
No, Diane. I could give you a million guesses, and you're not going to believe what my mom sent me to school as for Halloween.
In second grade?
In second grade.
Ah.
I can remember Jamie. Well, I won't get into her whole name. Like, was like the most popular girl in school, and she's like this. She has like this big wedding dress on, and she's carrying beautiful flowers. One girl was like an Oreo cookie, which was like adorable, and there were like all kinds of angels, whatever. My mother sent me to school as the Elephant Man.
No.
Yes. John Merrick, the Elephant Man, the man that was like totally disfigured.
Didn't you just tell you wouldn't go like that?
Like, what kind of authority does a second grader have? And plus, I thought it was funny because I mean, I didn't know any different. I was so little. But she sent me to school in the costume that my dad wore to like his teacher's party. But the worst part is it had a paper, like a burlap bag over my head and a big elephant trunk.
I feel bad for that elephant man.
And elephant ears. And it had like a raincoat and like a big hunchback. And all I knew is my mom told me, and Mom, I'm saying this with love, like don't be upset by this. But she told me, she's like, don't say anything. Just walk around going, I'm not.
Did you?
Yes. And when I got to school and saw all the other girls who were dressed up like all pretty and beautiful, I pretended I was this kid named Emil who was absent that day. And I sat in Emil's chair and I took Emil's bus home and I just pretended I was him the entire day. And I got away with it. I had to walk from like his bus stop home to my bus stop because I was so mortified. Like I realized like there's something disturbing about this. Like I don't think I should have a burlap bag on my. Now the teachers thought it was hysterical. And the teachers who knew my mother thought it was absolutely right? But as a child, you go back and go, what?
So they knew you were Erica?
They didn't know. They thought I was Emil.
Oh.
Emil Gennaro, if you're listening, I am really sorry. And so the next day, Emil comes to school and gets zeros on all of the assignments. And he was absent that day. And he's like, but I wasn't here. And they're like, well, you were absent the whole day. Meanwhile, I was sitting in a seat. And so I had to kind of fess up that I was the Elephant Man.
Oh boy.
I mean, come on.
There should never have been an Elephant Man.
No, it was ridiculous.
I know.
It was ridiculous. But I mean, I look back now at like being raised by two artists who were like, you know, kind of offbeat and did their own kind of thing. I mean, it did kind of teach me to take life a little less seriously. But as I got old enough to realize, like, oh my God, this was a costume fitted to make someone with a profound medical condition. I think I realized, like, well, that was probably pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you're not in therapy, but you are a therapist.
Oh, I've been in therapy.
Good.
I can't imagine why I've been in therapy, but I've been in therapy. I think in order to be a good healer, a good therapist,
yes,
anyone who's working in helping other people, coaching, etc. Like there's so many different fields. If you're not willing to sit on the other side,
yes, you can't help.
Yeah, and do the work.
You have to be in the shoes. You have to be in the mud. I say
in the mud.
I've been in the mud, so I could be the lotus flower.
That's right.
So then you can really heal. Yes.
Well, you had to grow from the mud, from the
Yes,
soil,
yes,
and you had to tend it, right?
Yes,
and
I
you had to
did.
water it,
Yes.
and you had to give it everything it needs. And so, I just tell you the story. I don't know why, because Halloween is still my favorite holiday, despite the ridiculousness. But the power in that moment was actually,
We should dress up for one of our podcasts.
maybe we will.
Yeah.
My first year in business.
You cannot be the elephant man.
I will not be the elephant man. But my first year in business, I dressed up like a bee. And people were like, "What are you?" I had like the black and white, the black pants, the black sweater with like yellow stripes.
Oh, okay.
And they're, "What are you?" I said, "I'm a behaviorist."
Oh.
They're like, "You're so lame, Miss Erica."
Those are your clients?
Yeah, they were younger kids at the time too. So I thought it was kind of fun to dress up. And then I had a few adults that day, and they're like, "I cannot take you seriously looking at you like this. I just cannot." But I didn't care. It was like the first time I owned my own business, and I thought I could dress up. I can do whatever I want to do. What about you? What's your favorite Halloween or standout Halloween story?
I don't know. I cannot get over the elephant man costume right now.
I have a photo.
I think I have to go visit your parents or your mother. My favorite costume, you asked?
Yeah, well, or whatever your favorite memory is of.
All I can think of right now is my girlfriend coming to the house. Her name's Lynette. And she would come to the house dressed up like a chicken. And we were teenagers. And she was dressed up in her chicken costume.
Love it.
She was hysterical.
Love it.
Yes, yes.
Well, to say though, I'm giving one representation of the elephant man. But then there's the flip side. My dad's an artist. So when I wanted to go as Wonder Woman, I had the Mac Daddy Wonder Woman. I had the bracelet. The lasso. Like he'd make my things, and they were pretty outstanding. But I just, for whatever reason, felt like sharing the fact that, we've had interesting journeys. We've had some interesting experiences, right?
Hey, in upstate New York, Syracuse, New York, it usually snows on October 31st.
I don't think I ever remember not having a ski jacket or some kind of coat on as a kid. Same thing.
So it's like, why are you even dressed up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And in things that are like skimpy or like lightweight, like these little princess outfits and stuff. And it's like, you have snow boots.
That's what I loved about coming here when I moved here. And, I remember Brendan being 2 and Matt was 5. I'm like, there's like awesome, like Halloween evenings here. It didn't snow.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful time of year in Maryland. So for those of you that are here, I hope you're enjoying the season today. We're talking about Halloween.
I know, and we're dressed like we're in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we talking about it tonight?
I will be in Miami very soon, but it's a beautiful evening. It's like 78 degrees, which is like kind of unheard of for this time of year. But yet the pumpkins are out, and the smell of cinnamon is like everywhere, and it's so beautiful.
Yes.
But like when I think about the spiritual journey that we've been on, I do get a little distressed that so many people still believe like or think or associate that spiritual realm with like the ooga booga of Halloween. Does that bother you? Or do you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah. Or it's like the witch. Yeah.
Oh boy,
yes. And it's, it's so not, because we're not witches.
No.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. For Halloween, maybe.
Yeah, I know that's what it should be.
For Halloween. I don't know the specifics of your spiritual journey when you started opening up. Like I know tidbits, but did I ever tell you the story about when my coworker started realizing like I was opening up and all these beautiful things are happening around me, and she started observing like this really beautiful energy? Did I share this story? I don't think I told many people this. I think I was so traumatized by this, but I guess it ties into our whole like how many people maybe see the spiritual world in a very negative light. But anyway, I had this wonderful woman who worked for me, really religious, very spiritual, like very attached to her church. She'd worked with me for a long time, and she started noticing like the lights would be affected around me. she said, like, once I was walking down the hallway and she would see like these little like lights kind of following me. And she's like, something really, really special is happening, you know, and I've been a witness to it. And so she's like, I really want you to go talk to my priest. She's like, he's young, he's progressive, like he would be such a good person. Cause I was really confused.
Yeah.
As I can imagine most people are when you start opening up and it's like, you go from that 3D to 5D, you know, like your whole reality is like, am I crazy?
Yeah.
Is this really happening? So anyway, so she was so persuasive. I said, okay, I'll go talk to him. And we made this appointment and her husband came with us and we said, I'll go talk to the priest and then we will go out to dinner after, because she was so convinced this was going to be like such a beautiful thing, because he was actually a healer himself and he performed 2 miracles that the church recognized in healing young children with cancer, right? So I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be like such a great experience. It's going to be beautiful. And I got there and I told him everything I had been experiencing. And I said, you know, like I really feel connected to the angels, to the universe, to like light, to whatever. And he looked at me and Diane, I swear to you, I'm like, I'll try. And he looked at me and goes, what? And I explained it. And he said, are you involved in an occult? I'm like, no, Father. He's like, do you practice like any kind of black magic? I'm like, oh my God, no, Father. How about your clients? You work with people with substance abuse. Do you think that you could be picking up their energy? And I was like, oh my God, no, Father. And he had me in tears, like these big, creepy black tears were just like pouring down my face. And he gave me a bottle of holy water.
Did he?
Like a bottle of holy water that he blessed. He gave me all these little charms and he told me to like, you know, have them with me at all times, you know, like 10 or 12 of them. And then he gave me this book on angels and demons. And he made the sign of the cross on me and said, you need to protect yourself. So I walk out of this appointment and my office manager and her husband are there and they're like all excited, waiting to hear like how great this is going to be. I have these black tears rolling down my face. The priest looks like he like had the devil himself like jump out at him. And we get into the car and they're like, so how did it go?
No one wants to go to dinner.
I really didn't want. And her husband's like, oh no, we're going to dinner. We're going to hear all about this. You know, so I tell him and I'm like, I think he thinks I'm a demon or something. And he's like, what? I'm like, I think he thinks I'm a demon. And he gave me this book to read. And I would sit up at night and I would just keep reading about these demons. I couldn't sleep like for weeks. I just couldn't sleep. And so,
that doesn't sound fun.
But unfortunately, a lot of people, and I'm Catholic as you are, have this belief that if you know, lay hands on someone or touch someone's energy or whatever, that that's really not allowed or appropriate, because that's really only ever for a priest or a clergy to be able to do. And so I shut down. I just stopped. I'm like, this is scary. Maybe it is evil. Maybe it is bad. And my office manager, who's very close with the priest, said, don't listen. I see what I see.
So she knew.
She knew. She's like, I see how you help people. I see the love you give to people. There's no way this could be negative, which God bless her to this day. I can. And I was reading this book on demons, and the more I kept reading about it, the more I'd get myself all whipped up and whatever. And then I came upon this chapter. It was by Saint Teresa de Avila. And she said, let no one tell you that you are not the hands of God. Let no one tell you that you are not a healer. Right? Wow. And that if God is calling you to do it, you step into his steps. Let no one else tell you.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And she was the little flower. She was the rebel of the Catholic Church. So it's like during the Protestant Reformation, as Catholic churches were getting shut down, she'd go around and continue to have them pop up everywhere. And so I always go to her, right? Because I'm like, I want to be like the little flower, right? But it took a long time to reconcile. So for you, like, did it take a long time for you to be like, what is this? Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, not that I ever thought it was bad until that situation happened. That really floored me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I never went to like, I think for me, it was just telling my mother about it, you know, 'cause she's a very strong Catholic, wanted to be a nun, always taught, you know, religion up until I think the
Bless her.
age up until like COVID started. So that was probably what, 3 years ago, up until like the age of 87.
Wow. I never knew this about her.
Yeah. So for me, I think once I explained it to her and she's like, okay, we'll do it on me. And she saw the benefits of it and saw just, you know, how much it was helping her. And I got her blessing. And then I would talk to her and my father about when I would do Reiki, and if, you know, I would see an angel come through or Jesus come through. And she's like, well, do you see anything, or what do you see? And I explained to them, you know, how I see it. You know, then just knowing that she was open to listening, and so is my dad. For me, that was, you know, a huge blessing. So I felt, you know,
absolutely. My parents were
it.
kind of like, my mom was a lot more receptive, which surprised me because she's very devoutly Catholic. I mean, devoutly Catholic. And she's like, yeah, I believe in that. You know, I believe when we live in that light energy, when we're helpers, when we want to make a difference in the world, it makes sense that the universe will guide us to be able to do that. Like, I thought that was beautiful.
Oh, that is.
My dad was like, oh, this freaks me out. He was like a little bit like, this is freaking me out a little bit. But then, you know, my dad was sick, and I've done Reiki on him and other people. And it just, I don't know, I guess part of why we're talking about it is because for those of you out there who may be skeptical or may feel like this goes against my religious beliefs, or, you know, what is this? Or, you know, it really is us just partnering with the divine. We aren't doing anything.
And it's not religious based.
It's energy based.
Exactly.
And we're all just big balls of energy. You know, but if we can be,
your energy is just, she's spewing off you tonight. Spewing.
How'd you do that again?
Spewing.
So
can't get her to stop talking.
No, I'm sorry. I had all the stories tonight.
I'm just teasing.
I apologize. But for those of you that are giving into the mystery and the allure and the pumpkin pie and the ghosts and the,
I see, witches.
You wanted to say a different word.
I did.
Goblins.
Oh, goblins, witches. I'm into witches. I don't know where my witch's hat is. Okay, goblins, ghosts.
Whatever. Enjoy. Have fun.
We're gonna dress up at the next one.
You want to?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna do it. Well, we have a few more podcasts to come out before that, but by Halloween.
Yes.
By Halloween.
Yes.
And
I'm gonna wear a big orange sweater. I got a big orange sweater.
Well, we couldn't wear it tonight. It's like 100 degrees in here.
Yes, it is.
So
our Miami Vice clothes on.
Oh my God, maybe we'll go as Don Johnson and Tuckett. What was his name? Tuck.
Clearly, it's time for us to wrap up.
I think so.
Oh, but you know what we need to do? We didn't do it on our last podcast. We got to do our rundown. You start with a YouTube channel.
We have a YouTube channel.
And if you really are happy with the YouTube channel, we'd like you to subscribe.
And if we've earned it, please give us a like or a comment.
And also for all of you listening on a podcast out there, if you are on Spotify, I know if you were really happy with us, you can give us a 5-star. If you are on Amazon Music, you can actually leave a review, a written review, and we will read that. It's very important to us and it helps our ratings. And any other platform out there, of course, whatever you can go do out there to support us, we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So enjoy the season. Enjoy the rolling back of the energy.
Yes.
Take care of yourselves. Until next time, this is Two Italian Women.
And the stories they tell.
Be well.
With two Italian women.
And the stories they tell.
Erica Martin.
Diane
Bovalino.